This is John Cola with GrowingYourGreens.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you. As you have seen in previous episodes, I got the Joraform 270 composter here, and just recently got the Thermor 400 composter right here. Now, how can you tell if they're working? Well, the easiest way is to open it up. If I open it up, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's definitely steam coming off there because this composter is definitely working. If I put my hand there, man, I could feel the heat coming off. But you know what? You checking it by the heat, and the heat coming off is really great because if I open up this one next door, there's no heat, steam coming off, but I definitely feel it's a little bit warm, but not as warm as the Joraform. So how can you tell if your compost is really happening? Well, the easiest way is to get a compost thermometer. So that's what I got in the mail today, so let me show you guys. Ordered it from Amazon.com. Go ahead and bust this open. I shopped around for the best price on a compost thermometer all over, and the best price I found was Amazon.com. And here it is right here, compost thermometer. Now this guy was about 10 bucks, so you know, if you are composting, I highly encourage you guys to get a compost thermometer because it's like, you know, it's like your gas gauge in your car, right? If if we didn't have a gas gauge in the car, you wouldn't know when you're on empty. You wouldn't know to refill. So if you don't have a compost thermometer, you won't be able to gauge how well your compost pile is doing so that you can optimize it and ensure that it's working the fastest to create you some compost faster. In the past, you know, I haven't been a good composter, and I'll be the first to admit it. I've been a good gardener, but my composting skills have sucked. The main thing composting relies on is mixing your greens and your browns and getting that right ratio, that sweet spot, so that the bacteria thrive. Another thing, as I've learned, that's very helpful is getting a good composter like the Joraform that's insulated. And in this episode, we're going to show you guys how the compost thermometer works, and actually we're going to show you the temperature inside the Joraform and how good that is cooking the compost. So the compost thermometer I got right here is actually called the BIOS compost thermometer. Generate clean, fertile compost fast. And it has a little compost guide here to remind you guys what to put in there. It talks about the greens and the browns and the things to avoid. Now, if you are composting in a standard static pile, the temperature of your compost can also let you know when you need to turn that compost to keep it going, to add some oxygen in, because in a static pile, you know, the middle of a pile, unless you're putting PVC pipes with holes in it to get some airflow in there, it's not getting oxygen. That's why I like these spinning composters, because every time you spin it, it adds some oxygen in there for you, so it's really neat. So I guess let's go ahead. This guy is by Thermor, and it's bioexactly.com. Has a 1-year warranty. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. Now you can use a standard kitchen thermometer, you know, that you plug into your meat if you're still eating meat, but the stem is not as long. This is like a nice 20-inch stem to stick down into the middle of your compost pile. Other thing I like about this is that it's actually has these little numbers on there, so it tells you how hot it is, but also it's color coded. So it tells you red is too hot, the orange is hot, the yellow is active, and the blue is steady. And the dark blue is actually too cool. So first we're going to go ahead and measure the temperature in the Thermor. Now this has been cooking for 2 days. I did a good carbon to nitrogen ratio, or greens and browns ratio, plus I even added some compost that was going from the Joraform in here to kind of give me that quick start. I'm going to go ahead and stick this into the pile here, and we're going to go ahead and let it register for a little bit and see what we get up to. So we put the thermometer in there, and it's going up very slowly, so we're just going to hang out and see what temperature it gets to. As you can see, the temperature pretty much stopped moving, and it's probably about like 93 degrees or so, and the 93 is steady. At 93 degrees, this is just not getting hot enough to compost yet, but guess what? We just filled it 2 days ago. The Joraform, I could definitely say, was hotter than 93 degrees in 2 days, so this might be taking a little bit longer. And this is a funny design because there is a tube in the middle that will maybe keep the middle of the compost pile maybe not as hot, plus there's no insulation on this guy. So also it's good to monitor your compost temperature to see if it's actually working or not, because if your pile's sitting there for a long time, it's not heating up, it's not working. That means you need to do something. Maybe you need to add more carbon. Most of the time people have enough nitrogen because you're adding food scraps and grass clippings and stuff, but they're not adding enough carbon. So like the sawdust or the sawdust pellets that I showed, or like shredded up newspaper or something like that, or some leaves. Another thing that may not be right in your compost pile is the moisture percentage. There can't be too much water because it can't be like, like a swimming pool, but it can't be too dry either. There needs to be a right balance of the moisture level for the compost to happen optimally. This pile here might be a tad bit too dry, so I might add a little bit of water, and we could see if we get that compost temperature up to be working in an optimal range. So that's definitely good to know on this guy here. Next, we're going to go ahead and check the Joraform here. And before I do, I want to show in this little packet here, they give you this little free compost guide magnet. So I like that a lot. We could go ahead and open this compost guide magnet. And we could see actually on here what we should be composting and what we shouldn't be. So you could compost kitchen waste and yard waste and avoid, some of these things. And you could stick this on your refrigerator to remind you, or if you got a Joraform, because it is metal, check it out, it sticks right on there. So every time you fill it up, you'll actually know what to add. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and watch this. Watch the steam coming out of here. Check it out. You see that steam coming out? I mean, this is one hot pile. Let's go ahead and stick our compost thermometer in there. And man, check it out. The thermometer is instantly moving up nice and quickly. Already at 110 degrees. Moving up in the 120 range. It's an active pile here. It's getting into the hot range. Easily 130 degrees now. As the steam is coming off and fogging up the lens of my camera. This is one badass composter. As you can see, the temperature pretty much stopped moving. I don't know if you could see that on the camera there. Camera doesn't have the best focus. 151 degrees is what it looks like. So at 151 degrees, this composter is kicking some royal butt, making some compost. As you can see, all the different things in here are just decomposing. And I think actually this was that they normally don't recommend you compost. This is actually the orange peel. And check it out, it literally just flakes in half now. This is totally getting broken down. Actually, this is quite warm to the touch. Man, so if you want a good hand warmer, open your composter and stick it in on a nice winter's day. Although then afterwards, oh, you got a funky orange compost smell in your hand. It smells kind of like orange oil. In the Joraform, orange peels, and even other things that they normally say don't compost, you can compost in here because of the high sustained temperature. So 150 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy out, my compost thermometer. Now, I'm highly confident now that the Joraform composter is working, and I just want to say that, the Joraform composter has been the easiest composter that I've ever owned, and trust me, I've owned a lot of different composters. Here's just a few of them here. But the Joraform, you fill it right, and it was working within 2 days. As you could see, the temperature's really hot. Every time I come out and spin it, like once a day, and open it up, man, burst of heat. You could probably even cook your potatoes in there. So the moral of this video is twofold. Number one, you want to get a compost thermometer so that you can monitor your compost pile, whether you're doing a static pile or a spinning tumbler. I highly encourage you guys to get a Joraform compost thermometer because it just works, and it works fast. The faster you can make compost out of your kitchen waste and yard scraps, the faster you can be enriching your garden with some of the best nutrients on earth, which is your homegrown compost. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning more about the cool, nifty $10 compost thermometer I got from Amazon.com, but more importantly, how this Joraform composter is working. Once again, there's now currently a special on the Joraform composter for GYG viewers only. Be sure to check the link below for that link to get the special price on the Joraform composter so that you can be creating compost faster than having it just rot in a pile. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep on composting.